to another edition of Motoring Northwest with me, Mark Stone, and Ken the Cam. Today we're looking at Honda's 1.6 DTEC 2-wheel drive Honda CR-V. Similar in many ways to the 2.2 all-wheel drive we looked at a couple of months ago. From its concept, the Honda CR-V has changed significantly. Originally it was an all-wheel drive that looked like an all-wheel drive, but very similar to its competition, although it's distinct in looks. It's a bit of a Marmite car, is the CR-V. You'll either love it or hate it, as the SUV shape of the vehicle has turned at times into something of an amorphous blob. At times not altogether sure what direction it's going to be going in. However, it's distinct. Many of the other SUV manufacturers have, over time, started to follow Honda's example, which means at times they do tend to all look rather the same. However, it is one of Honda's most successful cars. It's beloved by caravanners. You've got three options. You have a 2-litre VTEC petrol, you have a 2.2 DTEC diesel, which is a rule for the all-wheel drive version, or in this two-wheel drive case, you have the 1.6 economical DTEC, which should, all being well, give you at least mid-50s to the gallon, which isn't bad for a vehicle of this size. From the side, it is what it is. It's relatively nondescript, but it's plenty of curves, belt lines. Given what the vehicle is, it is probably about as stylish as these motors tend to get. Nice big doors, big wheels. Even as a two-wheel drive, it gives the driver and occupants the all-wheel drive, slightly elevated ride experience, which means you have a good view, you feel safe, and providing it's a nice warm dry day like today, a rough track and maybe a field isn't completely out of it. But in two-wheel drive form, don't try to get too adventurous, or you could just require the all-wheel drive version to drive past, come in and get you back out again. Round the back, nice and big and curved, you've got a nice big full-size tailgate. In the rear, it's reasonably spacious. Surprisingly though, it is not as cargo friendly as its Civic Estate or Civic Tourer sibling, but it's not bad in there. You'll get five passengers plus a decent amount of cargo, or 2 passengers and slightly better cargo, but it isn't tremendous. Arch intrusion isn't bad, but it is still there. So it's the sort of vehicle, as I said, the caravanners love, the trailer boys love, for the simple reason, the tow hitch, you've got something that looks like Robocop's left leg stuck out the back. Inside, in many respects, there's nothing fancy, but you've got nice, decent surfaces. You've got a good, clear instrumentation. It's easy to read, nothing fancy, nothing digital. All the controls are big, easy to operate and easy to understand, and in the case of this version you've got a sat-nav system that is one of the best I've used. It knows where it's going and goes to great detail into telling you where you are and where you need to go. The other thing is, it's comfortable. This is one of the most comfortable motors of its type that I've driven in a long time. Honda built this car with the intentions its occupants will go long distances in it, and you will do it in comfort. Nice supportive seats, plenty of room, plenty of headspace. Everything you want is in here. There's nothing fancy, there's no toys. Everything you want is where you want it to be, and it is easy to operate. The driving position is great. There is nothing at all wrong with this car. But as I've said, there's no toys, there's no gizmos, there's nothing that sets it apart. It is just typical Honda, extremely well built, extremely well put together, and a lot of thought has gone into making what is actually a simple cabin a very, very pleasant place to spend time. criticised for describing Honda's CR-V as probably the most sensible car you'll ever buy, and probably the most boring car you'll ever buy. These weren't really terms of criticism, more a general description. The CR-V, it's an SUV that is trying desperately not to be an SUV. It's the sort of car your granny will love, and the sort of motor your parents will be delighted when you've bought, because all of a sudden you'll be showing signs of common sense and erring away from those horrible fast things that you keep buying. This particular one has the 1600 DTEC super duper, all economical, all singing, all dancing diesel engine. 120 brake horsepower, 300 newton meters of torque, just over 11 seconds 0 to 60. But you're not buying this vehicle for performance. You are buying it literally because common sense has dictated you need a good all-round motor that'll transport yourself, your family, just short of 1200 litres of cargo if you put the back seats down, and do it reasonably economically. Honda tell me that the engine should give me about 62 to the gallon combined. As it is, I'm getting about 55, 56, but on a longer extended run, there's no reason why it shouldn't achieve Honda's factory figures. Everything inside, because it's a Honda, is well built. There's nothing at all wrong with it. It's very, very comfortable to drive. If the two-wheel drive has a problem, it's in so much as where the four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive takes the torque steer out of the front wheels, the two-wheel drive suffers from the torque steer. If you plant it a bit on a corner or pull away from a junction, just as we did then, a little bit too quickly, the front wheels want to flex and torque about on you. Apart from that, the steering's nicely weighted, it's light to drive, it's a nice slick 6-speed gearbox. Yeah, it's uninspiring, but it's here to do a job, to haul as much as you want, to tow that most dreaded of things, a caravan or a little trailer for you. It doesn't do anything dramatically, it does everything slowly and with a degree of precision. Basically, it does everything you expect a Honda to do in the quality in which a Honda does it. Push it into a bend, yeah, there's body roll. It isn't designed as a performance vehicle. You haven't bought this as a performance vehicle. You've bought it as exactly what I've described it as, a good common sense car. That, since it has SUV underpinnings and styling, you've got all the benefits. You've got a higher ride height. You've got a very, very soft, supple ride. You've got good ground clearance. You've got excellent all-round visibility. Basically, you've bought a four-wheel drive that isn't a four-wheel drive, but has the benefits of a four-wheel drive. And given the fact it's all singing, all dancing, ultra economical, especially if you deploy the asthma button, the econ button, you've got a vehicle that is kind to the environment, or as kind to the environment as a diesel will be. Open the bonnet and you see loud and proud Earth Dream, Honda's equivalent of all the other manufacturers' super duper kind to Mother Nature engines. It's just a nice vehicle. In my opinion, it's not the most attractive of its type, but as they always say, when you're driving the vehicle that isn't particularly attractive, you aren't looking at it. Inside, it's just a pleasant enough place to be. As I said, nice and comfortable, nice and lightweight, good visibility, both externally, internally and beneath the bonnet. This is not an offensive car. It is, once again, probably the most sensible vehicle you will ever buy and the most boring vehicle you'll ever buy. It's probably also one of the few vehicles you'll buy and you will keep for about 6, 7, up to 10 years. These cars are designed for their owners and buyers to keep them for a long time. Honda are ultra reliable, and the CR-V absolutely personifies Honda's commitment to economy, quality and driver and family friendliness. If you're looking for something that's going to float your boat, get you going a bit, the Honda CR-V, especially in two-wheel drive, 1.6 diesel mode is not the vehicle to go for. But if you're looking for something that'll do everything you ask of it, around town, on the school run, on holiday, down to the south of France, here you are, you're looking at it. So as we've seen out on the road, the 1.6 two-wheel drive, there's very little difference between this and the all-wheel drive 2.2. The benefit of this is it'll give you mid-50s to the gallon with ease. It doesn't struggle to give you economy. Equally, the Econ button has a more beneficial effect. It doesn't strangle the car's performance as it does on some of the other Honda vehicles. It really does aid the vehicle in delivering the best fuel efficiency it can. If there is a difference, it's the vehicle tends to torque steer a little bit out of tight corners, out of junctions, where the all-wheel drive system eliminates the torque steer by sending the excess power or any potential wheel spin to the back wheels. But in most respects, and for most people, the two-wheel drive 1.6 DTEC will give them everything they want in respect of performance, economy, comfort, and the ability to transport people and cargo over long distances in complete comfort. So, from me, Mark Stone, and Ken the Cam, and this edition of Motoring Northwest, until next time, safe driving.